Welcome back to our discussion of Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. Today we discuss Chapter 10.
Right, Chapter 10, a big one.
Yeah, definitely. So we've got the text, and our mission really is to unpack this really pivotal scene, understand the world Huxley built, and how it's about to get seriously shaken up.
Absolutely. It's a turning point.
So the chapter just drops us right in, doesn't it? 2:27 p.m., Bloomsbury Centre. The director calls it a hive of industry.
4,000 rooms, electric clocks.
Huh.
You get the sense of constant, ordered motion, everything ticking along precisely.
And the details are quite something. Down under the microscopes, you've got the very start of life, engineered life, spermatozoa fertilizing eggs.
And that key process for the lower castes, Bokanovskification.
Oh, yeah, that's where one egg doesn't just become one person, but it buds, right? Splits into, dozens of identical twins.
Exactly. Up to 96, the book says. Mass production, but for humans. It's quite chilling when you think about it.
It really is.
Yeah.
And this whole industrial process, it just continues floor by floor. Down in the basement, fetuses growing in bottles.
In that crimson light, fed blood surrogate hormones.
The text mentions these moving racks, like conveyor belts, taking them towards the decanting room.
The unbottling room, where
Yeah.
they come out yelling. Birth as just another factory process. It's so sterile.
Totally sterile. Dehumanizing, really. And the conditioning, it starts instantly. Upstairs, you've got floors of nurseries, 1,800 infants feeding all at once.
And above that, dormitories. Kids sleeping, but they're not just sleeping, are they? They're learning.
Right, the hypnopedia, sleep teaching.
Yeah, absorbing lessons on hygiene, sociability, their place in the caste system, even their love life according to the rules.
It's control baked in from the absolute beginning, total conditioning.
Yeah.
And then the older kids in playrooms,
Yeah.
doing everything from building blocks to, erotic play. It's all part of fitting them into the system. Yeah, making sure they fit their roles and keep things stable. But what's really striking is the atmosphere the text describes. It's busy, buzzing, sure, but it also mentions, happy singing from the girls.
And whistling from the predestinators, yeah. Jokes in the decanting room. It sounds almost joyful in a weird mechanical way.
Like everyone's perfectly happy in their little box.
That's the success of the conditioning, isn't it? That contented conformity. But then, boom, the contrast hits. The director walks in.
Into the fertilizing room specifically, with Henry Foster. And his face is grave, wooden with severity.
Yeah, that description tells you everything. The harmony's about to break.
He's there for a reason. Tells Henry he's going to make a public example of Bernard Marx. Why there, though? In front of all the high caste alphas.
Well, it's calculated, isn't it? He wants the top tier, the intellectuals, to see this. If an alpha plus like Bernard gets taken down, it sends a message to everyone. No one's exempt from the rules.
Henry makes this, brief comment about Bernard doing good work.
Yeah, almost hypocritical, maybe? But the director just brushes it off.
Which says a lot, right? It's not about how good you are at your job.
Not at all. It's about obedience. For the director, being smart, being an alpha plus, comes with moral responsibilities. More talent means more power to, lead people astray if you step out of line.
So his logic is cold. Better that one should suffer than that many should be corrupted.
Exactly. The individual means nothing compared to the stability of the whole system.
And this leads him to the ultimate crime in this society. Unorthodoxy. He says it's the most heinous offense. Worse than murder, even.
Yeah, he kind of gestures towards the labs like, murder, we can just make another one. Easy replacement. But unorthodox.
It strikes at society itself. That's the core fear. It questions the whole foundation. It could spread like a disease.
Precisely. It's a threat to the collective, not just one person.
So the scene is set. Everyone's silent. Bernard walks in. And the description of him is great, trying to look confident, but totally failing.
Yeah, that veneer of jaunty self-confidence, barely hiding how nervous he is. His voice goes too loud, then too soft. He knows he's in trouble.
And the director just lays into him, calls him Mr. Marx, mentions his holiday, but with his really sinister tone.
Yes, that serpent tone lingering on the S sounds. It's pure theater. He's setting up the kill.
Then he raises his voice, addresses the whole room. Ladies and gentlemen.
And bang, silence. Everything stops. Everyone's watching.
He talks about his painful duty, how security and stability are in danger. He's framing Bernard as this massive threat.
Then points right at him, an alpha plus who's grossly betrayed the trust. And the charges start rolling out.
And they're revealing, aren't they, heretical views on sport and soma, questioning fun and drugs, the basic tools of control.
Exactly. Then scandalous unorthodoxy in his sex life. probably meaning he wasn't promiscuous enough, or maybe even leaned towards, one person.
Which is just not done. Conformity everywhere, even in bed.
Right. And finally, refusing to act like an infant outside work hours, disobeying our Ford. He even makes the sign of the T.
It's a total condemnation. Bernard's individuality is the crime.
So the director sums it up. Bernard's an enemy of society, a subverter, a conspirator against civilization. Heavy stuff.
And the punishment? Dismissal, obviously, and being sent off to a subcenter, Iceland, specifically mentioned.
Yeah, total exile. Get him away from everyone so his bad ideas can't spread. Isolation.
The director finishes this whole speech, turns to Bernard, folds his arms, very dramatic, and asks if Bernard has any reason why the judgment shouldn't happen right now. He clearly thinks it's over.
He's so sure, but Bernard, he actually speaks up. Really loudly, apparently. Yes, I can.
Takes the director completely by surprise.
Just for a second. The director recovers, gets all majestic again, and says, then show it.
And Bernard does. Rushes to the door, throws it open, yells, come in! And in walks his reason.
Linda!
Yeah.
And wow, the description is designed to shock. Bloated, sagging, a monster of middle-agedness in a world where nobody looks old.
Broken teeth, trying to smile coquettishly, rolling her hips. It's natural aging, natural physicality, presented as grotesque.
And the reaction in the room proves it. Gasps, horror, a girl screams, someone knocks over test tubes, literally disrupting the production line.
Her presence is physically repulsive to them. Bernard points to the director. There he is. Like, here's my evidence.
And Linda sees him immediately, calls him Tomakin, that intimate nickname, totally out of place, says she'd know him anywhere.
But then she sees his face, that petrified disgust, and her smile just dies.
She gets really distressed. Don't you remember, Tomakin? Voice trembling, face twisting up in grief. It's raw emotion, which is just as shocking as her looks in this place.
She holds out her arms, runs to him, tries to hug him.
And the director freaks out. What's the meaning of this monstrous practical joke? He's trying so hard to deny it, frame it as unreal.
People start laughing, thinking it's some weird stunt. But Linda clings to him, saying, I'm Linda, I'm Linda. And then she screams it out. The line that changes everything.
You made me have a baby.
Silence. Just absolute, appalled silence. The laughter cuts off. People look away. The director goes white, stops struggling, just stares, horrified.
And she doubles down. Yes, a baby, and I was its mother. She flings the word mother, that ultimate obscenity, right into the silence.
It's not just a word, it's the concept, right? Viviparous birth.
Yeah.
It undermines their whole system.
Totally. But then, almost immediately, her own conditioning kicks back in. She pulls away, ashamed, sobbing. It wasn't my fault, Tomakin. I always did my drill. It's tragic, really. Caught between worlds. And then she calls for John.
John walks in, pauses, sees the scene, strides over, and kneels right in front of the director.
And says it, clearly. My father.
And that word, father, it's not obscene like mother, the text says. It's just
Gross.
scatological. It implies messy, natural birth, family, forbidden concepts, but saying it breaks the tension.
This is right into just a hysterical laughter,
It's
huge
a-
waves of it. The idea of the director having a father, no, being a father, it's just too much for them.
Too good, the text says. Whooping, roaring laughter, faces crumpling, tears streaming, more test tubes knocked over. The director's authority, the system's dignity, just dissolving.
He's just standing there, pale, wild-eyed, humiliated beyond belief, can't do anything.
The laughter dies down a bit, then surges back even louder. His final move, puts his hands over his ears and just runs out of the room, utterly broken.
So, yeah, the big plan to shame Bernard, it completely flips. The director's own past, his own unorthodoxy in the form of a natural son, comes back to absolutely destroy him in public.
It's such a powerful scene. It just lays bare the conflict, doesn't it? The system's perfect, sterile world versus the messy reality of biology, of family, of history, the things they try to erase.
And the system proves fragile when faced with that reality. It can't cope.
And the irony. Oh, the irony is perfect. Unorthodoxy, the crime he was condemning, is what brings him down, springing from his own secret. Yeah, the system basically ate itself, starting with him. It leaves you wondering, though, what happens now? For Bernard, who kind of lucked out. For Linda, back in this world, especially for John the Savage, now thrown into the middle of this perfect society.
Big questions. Definitely sets up a lot for what comes next.
It certainly does. Well, that's all the time we have for this chapter.
Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to see you when we discuss the next chapter.